Hi guys, it's Crystal with Design Bundles. Today I'm going to show you guys how to sublimate on 100% cotton using the Siser EasySubli HTV with your Sawgrass printer and your Cricut Explore Air 2. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so the things that we're going to need today to sublimate on 100% cotton, you're going to have the Siser EasySubli HTV, and then you also have Siser EasySubli mask. The mask is going to be for items where you print something out and it's got a lot of little pieces. You're going to want to have the mask. Now, if you're printing stuff out where it's just one single piece, you definitely don't have to have the mask. So this is what it looks like right here. So this is what the EasySubli looks like. It's got a rough texture. This is the side that we're going to print on. So when we load it in the printer, which you'll see here in a minute, we're going to load it with the glossy side up. It'll go through the printer and print on this side. Another thing with this is you do not need to mirror anything because it's going to stay in this direction. And then this is what the masks are going to look like. And then I have 100% cotton. This is a Bella canvas, and this is a darker color. What's really exciting about this is you're going to be able to put it on, dark t-shirts like black, the dark gray like this. So it's super, super exciting. So let's go ahead and head on over to Cricut Design Space. We're going to do a print and cut. So number one, I'm going to show you how to print and cut from the Cricut with your Sawgrass printer, and then I'm going to show you how to use the Siser EasySubli. So let's go ahead and head on over to Cricut Design Space. This is the design that we're using today. It's super cute. I love these designs here. I'm going to have this design linked down below. So my daughter absolutely loves coffee, so I wanted to surprise her with this t-shirt. So I downloaded this as the PNG, so you can see here it is a print and cut file. I brought it in as a print and cut, and if you know anything about print and cut with Cricut, you can only go up to 9.25 by I believe 6.75. So what I did was I set my width to 9.25 to utilize as much space as we can. So I've already sized this here. We're ready to send it on over to the printer and print it out. Normally with HTV we need to mirror it, not with this. So definitely do not mirror. We're going to go ahead and hit continue. All right, we're going to go ahead and hit send to printer. Now I want to change this to my HP. The only reason why I'm changing it for my brother is actually a black and white. So if I keep it on that, so if you have a black and white printer, it's going to turn it black and white. So you want to choose your color printer. I'm not actually going to print with this. We're going to print with our Sawgrass. So just bear with me for a second. The next thing you want to do is make sure you turn on Use System Dialog. This is what's going to allow you to save it to send it over to your Sawgrass printer. So you're going to hit print. And then you're going to get this pop up. If this does not pop up, then that means you forgot to turn this on. Simply just turn it on and you'll be good to go. All right, so at this point, what you want to do is you see this PDF. We're going to click, and then I'm going to hit Save as PDF. And at this point, we're going to save it. So I'm going to rename it. I'll name it Coffee. What I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to save it to desktop. I'm going to hit Save. Now you may have noticed these smart folders right here. When you downloaded your printer for Sawgrass, you may have noticed it says Sawgrass Smart Folder. What this is it's going to allow you to drag and drop files from, Cricut, Silhouette, so that way you can print them with your Sawgrass printer. Now what's really cool is you can make multiple. So I have one, this one right here is actually for polyester, this one's for glass, and this one is for ceramic, and so on and so forth. So let me show you how to make one. Make sure that my print manager is open. I'm going to click it right up here at the top, and you see where it says Smart Folders. I'm going to click this. So right now, the very first folder that they gave you, which is the Sawgrass Smart Folder, this is the settings that they have. So what you want to do is make sure it's highlighted like so. You're going to come down here. So say, for example, I want this one to be polyester. I'm going to go through and set all the settings I normally would for the polyester. So I'm going to use True Pix Classic, so on and so forth, my layout. I'm going to preserve from my designer. My color, I'm going to change that to vivid. Now you want to make sure and hit Smart Folders, and you want to make sure that all of these are checked, including PDF. Now whenever I pop this for the first time, now I'm on my laptop, I haven't used it over here, you're going to notice this pop up. What you want to do is use this one right here, and you're only going to have to do this one time. What it is it needs this program to be able to open the PDFs with Sawgrass. All right, once this is complete, you just want to open it up. You're just going to completely walk through this, hit continue, continue, agree, install, and close. Move to trash. All right, so now you're going to be able to click PDF. And like I said, you're only going to have to do that one time. Once it's on your computer, you're not going to have to do it again. Now, at this point, you're going to be able to tell it to automatically print. This is for somebody that's in high production. That way you can just automatically send it. So when you drag the item, drop it into this folder, it will automatically print out of the printer. Or you can archive it. So that way maybe you want to print multiple things on one page. You can wait until you come and tell it to print it. So I like to keep mine archive. And then you're just going to leave these settings alone, and now we're ready to hit save. Now once you hit save, it's going to come out of there. Now what I want to do is show you how to create another one. So what we're going to do is go back to Smart Folders. You're going to hit the plus. You're going to hit Desktop, New Folder, and you're going to name it. So this one is going to be Siser HTV. I'm going to hit Create, Open. So now I have that one highlighted. You want to make sure it's highlighted, and now we need to walk through the steps. So the substrate is going to be the heat transfer vinyl. The paper is going to be the heat transfer vinyl. I'm going to have it on high quality, and then we're going to go layout. We're going to preserve from the designer. Color, I'm going to change it to vivid. Make sure once again, you do not skip the step of going to Smart Folder. You're going to leave this alone. I'm going to archive mine, and then I'm going to click all of these. Now, most of us probably don't even use this. This is mostly for fonts and stuff, but you can click it or unclick it. It's up to you. And then we're going to hit save. So here's my new Smart Folder. So now what I want to do is I want to find that PDF, which is right here. It's the coffee. And all I'm going to do is drop it in the folder, and it's going to pop up for us. So you can see how easy that is. So now what I'm going to do is, as you can see, it's going to mirror here. I totally forgot when we were in those settings to unmirror that. So make sure that you're going to go in your settings, which I will as soon as we're done with this. I'm going to go ahead and print this out. Even though we have already customized these settings, at this point you can still come in and change whatever you need to and then hit print. So as you can see, I hit the unmirror. All right, so let's go ahead and head on over to the printer, and I'm going to show you how to load this. So now that we're over here at the printer, what you want to do is the side that is rough, so you have a side that's glossy, and then you have a side that's rough. The side that's rough is going to go down. The glossy side is going to go up. We're going to open our tray. You're just going to lay this right on top with everything else. Shut it. Open this up, and now we're ready to hit print. All right, so now you can see it's going to print just like normal, so it's going to look really light until it's pressed, but you can see that it is not mirrored. So for the next step, we need to take this over to the heat press, so be careful because you can smudge this. We're going to take it over to the heat press and let it sit under there for about a minute. All right, now we're over here at the heat press, and I have it set for 311 for 15 seconds. So what I'm going to do is just kind of hover my heat press for around 60 seconds. This is just going to allow those inks to fully dry and the sublimation process do its thing on the HTV. Now make sure that you do not accidentally shut this. Now that we have printed this out, the next thing that I want to do is say I've already printed. I have my dial set to iron on, and you want to load it on the mat in the same direction that you see on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my mat here. Now I have it loaded on the mat, and we're ready to load it in our Cricut. So I'm just going to load it. I'm going to go ahead and turn fast mode on, and we're ready to go. All right, we're ready to unload it. Now I'm going to go ahead and weed mine right here on the mat. I totally forgot to flatten this to where it would just go around those outside edges. So this picked up a few little spots inside, but I'm not worried about it at all. You cannot tell. And when I press it, there's not going to be an issue. So I'm going to go ahead and leave mine. So what we need to do is weed away just like you normally would. I'm going to flip it over. This makes it a lot easier to peel off of the mat. This is where our mask is going to come into play. So if you have a bunch of pieces like this, you want to use a mask. If you have leftover masks from your other HTV, you can definitely use that. What you're going to do is just peel these two pieces apart. And what I'm going to do is just like I normally do is I'm going to go down like a taco, go straight down. You want to take your scraper tool and just rub it in like you normally would. All right. So now what I'm going to do is flip it over. This is what's going to make it a lot easier. Just flip it over like you normally would as well and peel at an angle. So now you can press your sublimated designs on cotton. So let's go ahead and take our shirt over to the press and I've got my t-shirt up here. I'm going to press it in and push down for around 5 seconds. Once again, the temp right now is 311 for 15 seconds. So basically what you're doing whenever you have this underneath the press for around 60 seconds, you're activating that sublimation like you normally would for 60 seconds. So that's why you want that press as close as possible to those inks to heat them up. So now you're just going to press it like the temp you normally would with HTV. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and figure out my center. I could go ahead and fold my design in half to find that center mark. All right, so we're ready to go. So 311 for 15 seconds. And you want around medium pressure, so I'm actually going to bring that down just a little bit more. Pop it open. Now you see how bright and vibrant those colors are? So you guys can see how bright and vibrant those colors are. So let's go ahead and head on over to the table and take this off. So hopefully you guys can see now. So look at how bright. This is actually a hot peel, so I'm going to go ahead and peel it really quickly. But you guys can see now those are sublimated. I'm just going to peel at an angle and come right off. I was not thinking at all with this t-shirt. So I've about lost my Peace Love coffee in the t-shirt there. So hopefully you guys can see how fun is this. Look at those colors. So there you have it. That's how you're going to use the Siser EasySubli HTV with your Sawgrass printer and your Cricut. Now, I did use this with my regular Sublimate inks. You definitely do not have to have the Siser inks to do this. You can use it with that Sublimate ink. It's just printable HTV at the end of the day. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please hit the like button down below and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one.